Of all the mysteries hidden in the icy winds of Westeros, one question has haunted fans for years. Who exactly was the Night King? We are told he was a weapon created by the children of the forest, a mindless force of death. But what if the truth is much darker? What if the greatest villain in Game of Thrones history was actually its most tragic hero? To understand this, we have to look at Bran Stark. When Bran became the Three-Eyed Raven, he didn't just gain the ability to watch history unfold like a movie. He gained Greenseeing, the power to project his consciousness through time. The old Raven warned him, "The ink is dry." But as we soon learned, Bran had the power to rewrite it. The absolute proof of Bran's dangerous power is the tragedy of Hodor. While warging into a vision of the past, Bran simultaneously connected with young Wylis. He bridged two timelines. That immense magical feedback shattered the boy's mind, creating the loop of Hold the Door. This proves one terrifying fact. Bran's mind can physically alter the past. But Bran grew overconfident. He traveled into a vision of the army of the dead, believing he was merely a ghost watching from afar. Until the Night King turned and looked right at him. The Night King didn't just see a vision. He reached out and grabbed Bran's arm, leaving an icy mark. That touch broke the magical barrier of the Three-Eyed Raven's cave. But it did something much worse. It created a tether. Suddenly, the Night King knew exactly where Bran was at all times. But why? How could an ancient ice demon track a boy so perfectly? Because he wasn't tracking an enemy. He was tracking himself. Fast forward to the long night. The living are losing. Death is marching on Winterfell. Bran realizes that armies and dragons aren't enough. The only way to stop the Night King is to stop him from ever being created. So, beneath the weirwood tree, Bran closes his eyes and makes the longest, most dangerous jump in history. He travels back thousands of years. Back to the sacred spiral of the children of the forest. He sees a terrified human man tied to a weirwood tree, about to be sacrificed. Bran knows this is the exact moment the Night King is born. Desperate, Bran wargs into the human, hoping to break him free from the ropes. But he is too late. Just as Bran's mind enters the man's body, Leaf steps forward and plunges the cursed dragonglass deep into his heart. The ancient magic of the children of the forest collides with Bran's time-traveling consciousness. The dragonglass doesn't just pierce flesh, it pins Bran's consciousness inside the dying man. The magic freezes his human soul. The eyes of the man open. They are no longer human. They are a blinding, piercing, icy blue. The boy who tried to save the world just became its destroyer. Imagine the horror. Bran is trapped inside a shell of ice for millennia. Over thousands of years, his human mind fractures and fades, consumed by the dark magic of the dragonglass. He becomes a prisoner in his own body, forced to watch as the monster he has become builds an army of the dead. He had to wait thousands of years for the timeline to catch up. He had to march south. He had to touch young Bran in that vision to ensure the boy would eventually travel back in time and complete the loop. It is a perfect, tragic circle. Without Bran, there is no Night King. And without the Night King, there is no Bran. This changes everything about their final encounter in the Godswood. When the Night King looks at Bran, it isn't a look of hatred. It is a moment of tragic recognition. He is looking at his younger self, the savior and the monster, staring into each other's eyes, right before the end. Thanks for watching. If you loved this deep dive, pledge your sword by hitting that subscribe button. Until next time, winter is here.